What's up, guys? So one thing I like to do when I'm out here, sometimes I bring my 22 to the long range and do a little extra or extreme long range shooting with my 22. Right now I'm set up at 627 yards. I'm shooting at an IDPA target, so it's a full-size IDPA. It's nice and thin, so I can usually hear the hits if it's towards the bottom of the target. Towards the top, you maybe will be able to hear it. It just sounds like a smack. But I just wanted to tell you guys that most of you could definitely set up a rifle, your average 16-inch barreled 22, to shoot ELR, as long as you have a couple things, and it's really not even that much money to get into. It is very technical on the wind reading side, elevation, heat, and some of those factors are going to go into it because that cartridge is so temperature sensitive and specific. But anyways, this is a CZ 452. It's a good quality rifle, but it's got 50,000 rounds through it. I've got a very average to low quality, if you want to, UTG 360. It does the trick for here. It's usually best off the bench with no load into the bipod. I'm shooting off the ground today, and so it's a little too low for me, but it does the trick. It's basically a pistol height bipod. Anyways, Boyd's stock, go ahead and watch the video on that 50,000 round review if you want to know more about my setup here. But a real light 10-ounce trigger, about. No, it's not drop safe. And as far as the important components up here, I have an SWFA 12X. It's a dirt cheap optic that you can use to shoot ELR. It's fairly precise, at least as precise as most of us are ever going to really be able to tell. The glass is okay. It's got 10 mils of holdover in the reticle, as far as 5 for windage on both sides and above. And so there's definitely some usability there. I have a 20 MOA rail, and on top of that is a one-piece mount from C-Cop. It's the only company that I can find that's making a 45 MOA rail that's not, $200-300 at least. And so for 22, this works just fine. In fact, it works pretty good. And I didn't pay a lot for that at all between those two components. They're very affordable. I fully anticipate seeing more in that 30 and 34 millimeter tube range with extreme cant or the extreme dip rails. I think we'll see more of that. It used to be 20 MOA as a standard. Now it's more like 30 MOA as a standard with a lot. And they're designing optics differently. But anyways, to get to the point, I guess with this, I'm going with 40 mils, about 40 and 41 mils of drop, which is insane. It maxes the scope out. But with 100 yard zero, I can still shoot close up. This has a 10-yard parallax setting, which is amazing, or 10 meters. And then I can run out to infinity, and it's actually still quite clear. Most days I can still spot my misses as long as it's not too wet. It did rain last night, so I'm having a little trouble spotting my misses, more than normal. It's also 10 to 14 mile an hour winds. With 22, that's huge change. And so I'm seeing anywhere from 5 mils to 14 mils where I have to actually start dialing, or I'm going to be out of the scope. And so I don't usually have to do that. It's really fun though if you want to mess around with the ELR thing, or extreme ELR. You don't have to pay a lot of money to get into it. By the way, Aguila, super extra, just like always. I don't mess around with the subsonics too much at this distance because when it comes to wind, I'd rather have the velocity. It does transition through the transonic phase just fine. If I hit some at the bottom of the plate after this wind dies off, you'll definitely be able to hear it. So give me a minute. I'm gonna wait for this wind. I hope you could hear that impact. There was such a delay. I forgot how long it takes to get down there. I was running the bolt in the middle of that round, but that was a long delay. That's awesome. Oh man.